Let's talk about the natural next step that has emerged after generative AI, which is agentic systems. Because as generative AI has become powerful enough, as LLMs have become reliable enough, we've started to be able to rely on them more and more on their own. Do you have, John, your own definition of what an agent is?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a bigger picture view and then I'll define an agent. So, AI attached to the enterprise, applying AI to the enterprise actually has two different parts to it, of which only one we've done so far. Agents are the second one. And the reason for that is the source of differentiation of an enterprise. And a lot of us in the industry have said this over the last couple of years, and even though people weren't necessarily paying attention, but there were two parts that make an enterprise, the real core source of differentiation. The first is your proprietary data. You know things other people don't know. That's actually very powerful. That's why you don't share your proprietary data with people. My customer list is very valuable. My source code is very valuable. And those are a sustainable source of differentiation. Even if the people change, the brand changes, the world changes, having proprietary data is very, very important. The second source of differentiation is the unique skills in your organization, that you have people that can do things better than other people. At Dell, we have the best thermal and cooling people in the world, the best client developers in the world, the best storage software developers in the world. And the result of that is that translates into better products, interesting innovation, patents. And so if those are the two sources of differentiation, and the journey we're on is to apply AI to an enterprise, and those are the two things that matter. It's interesting because for the first couple of years of Gen AI, we actually went after the first one. A chatbot, a RAG system, all of these things are just tools that allow us to unlock and create value from our proprietary data. What is a RAG-based chatbot? It is a tool that takes proprietary data and makes it generative. It makes you could take all of your service information, and if I gave it all to you in raw format, it would be of no value. If I embed it into a vector database and present it to you through a generative interface, you can ask and answer any question on anything I know anywhere. That is incredibly powerful, and we have been doing that now for about a year at scale in the industry, and it's transforming everything. We're getting huge value out of this. In fact, almost all of our projects that are in production are just that. They're a generative capability to unlock our proprietary data in novel ways that just changes the curve in terms of productivity. That's great. Agents are not that. Agents go after the second one. They are about the digitization of a skill. They're about saying, I'm not just interested in unlocking the data. I'm interested in distributing the work. I actually want an AI that doesn't even require me to do a task, that it can actually operate autonomously. It can operate without human intervention. In fact, I'm not even going to tell it how to do the job. I'm just going to give it an objective and let it go. And I'm doing this aligned to the skills that I need it to do. So for instance, when we think about agents in the enterprise, now there's two views of this in the current thinking. One thinking out there is that agents will be replacements for multidimensional humans that can do everything. That's AGI and ASI. We're a long ways away from that. The reality of agents is that they are actually the digitization of more narrow skills. I use this self-driving car example. I do not have a self-driving car today that can drive anywhere in any situation and navigate it successfully. What we do have is self-driving cars. You've been in San Francisco and other places where if you geofence it, if you narrow the scope, we see this in the trains and airports. There's no driver on them because it has one job. It moves from terminal to terminal without a human intervention. Well, that's what's going on with agents. The first generation of agents are saying, could I take a task, a skill, and could I move it into AI, not as a tool that a person uses, but as a manifestation of that skill autonomously, that I can just tell it to do something. I can give it an objective, and it's smart enough to figure out how to reason through that objective. It has access to a set of data, and it can deliver an outcome equivalent or better than what a human would have done for that particular skill. There might actually be humans doing those specific jobs that might not do them anymore because agents can absorb them. But what you don't have is a fully well-rounded entity that is the equivalent of a full human being that can do lots of different things. Like, think about in your life, how many different things can you do? Well, today, the manifestation of agents can probably pick off a few of those. But what they can't do is pick off all of them and create a completely equivalent of your whole well-rounded human being, including your ethics, your morality. That's a really hard problem. That's AGI and ASI, different journey. And so bottom line is, you take these two technologies, first gen AI, which is what we call reactive AI, that a human is in the loop, and the human asks the AI to do something and it gives it an immediate response, but ultimately the human is the doer of the work, and these are tools around the human. And then you move over to this kind of second generation of agentic AI, which are complementary. And now you have a situation where the human is on the loop. They are the supervisor. And all they are doing is creating objectives and delegating work. And now the AI independently is able to take that task, figure it out, run with it, and even run with it in perpetuity. That it may never go back to the human being because it's been delegated below the machine line. These are the reason it's so important to distinguish these is that, one, they aren't even the same technology. While this one, the center of the universe, is a large language model with some data around it, it's a very static data set. An agentic environment has large language models, but they're used for part of the equation. They act as somewhat of its brain, but it has a body. It has a knowledge graph where it creates its own representation of data, that it represents what it's learned and its memories and its evolution of skills. It has interfaces around it that allow it to reach out into the real world, something called tool use and function serving, where it can actually go and activate a tool and interact with the world and perceive things. Very different technical architecture. And quite frankly, appropriately so, because it's solving a different problem. Now, fast forward into the future of an enterprise, well, yep, still got proprietary data and still got unique skills, except now I have a path to digitize both of them. And that's the thing that's going to profoundly change most enterprises.